Good afternoon. My name is Nigel Blackwood, and I'm here to bring you a special report on a breed of humans sweeping the nations, neighborhoods, and classrooms where you live. Of course, I'm talking about cyborgs. They're everywhere, and this report is about one such individual who goes by the name of David Nelson. The initial signs of someone you know becoming a cyborg may be as subtle as wearing a pair of glasses or strapping on a digital wristwatch. But what really led Mr. Nelson down the path to becoming a cyborg was when he received a Nintendo from his parents at a young age. This sparked a flame that still continues today. After his first Nintendo, Mr. Nelson continued to garner more systems. These systems included the Sega Genesis, its add-on, the 32X peripheral, Nintendo 64, Sega Dreamcast, the Amiga, Nintendo Virtual Boy, then of course came PlayStation 1, 2, and 3, the Xboxes, and the Nintendo Wii. But this was only one part of Mr. Nelson's transformation into a cyborg. Mr. Nelson received his first computer when he was about 6 years old.
Here's to the crazy ones. The misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
Yes, indeed, it was a Macintosh. The Macintosh showed the world of computing to Mr. Nelson, and then later, when Mr. Nelson received his first screen name on America Online, D. Nelson 89, another great world was shown to him indeed. Of course, Mr. Nelson moved on to other computers post-Mac. He wandered into the realm of PC gaming with an Alienware computer, and then into a rather standard laptop. But then, Mr. Nelson found his love for the Mac again, and received a MacBook Pro, which you can still find Mr. Nelson using today. Mr. Nelson's cybernetic tale does not end with computers, but rather with a gadget that has been with Mr. Nelson almost 24 hours a day, since he received his first one in junior high. I am referring, of course, to cell phones, and Mr. Nelson went through a ton of them. From a black and white Nokia, to Sony Ericssons, to a Motorola Razr, and many more, until the iPhone. The ultimate phone for Mr. Nelson. A Mac in your pocket that knows where you are, what you're doing, and who you are talking to. Yes, it could be said that the iPhone was the final phase of Mr. Nelson's becoming a cybernetic individual. It took less than 23 years for Mr. Nelson to turn into the cyborg he is today. Though cybernetic, Mr. Nelson is still a very approachable human. You can ask him to turn all of his cybernetics off, but he would just reply that underneath his cybernetics, just like you, we are all the same.